Wow, that was perfect timing. I did that. I orchestrated that pretty well, even though we're like 55,000 hours late. But that's all my fault. I got to be honest. Like George Washington, I cannot lie. I was playing World War Z. Let me take this off. What's up, everybody? It's your boy, MM2K of PNTS Network and StadiaDosage back again with another SSC podcast. This is SSC episode 89, and we have a hell of a panel today. One person, I'm going to introduce him first, because actually we kidnapped him, band-aided his mouth and his wrist up, and we're riding around with him in a van for the podcast until the police comes and takes him back. And that is Main Games. Main, how you doing today, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm really good, but I like that. I'm gonna use that in the future, man. I like that. How you doing, man?
Good, man. How you been since we had a blast last time? We had to bring you back.
Man. I'm good, man. I'm really good. I'm looking forward to this show, man, and getting this news circulating, if you will.
Absolutely good. And also we have our regulars. We have Mr. We're gonna have Fight Club today. We're gonna call this the Fight Club episode, not the zombie episode. This is that Fight Club episode, because me and Peter are gonna be fighting all day. Our first panel member is Peter Angrytail. Peter, how are you doing today?
You just call me Peter Angrytail. I'm chilling, man. I'm doing things I probably shouldn't be doing, but I'm chilling. I'm chilling. I'm trying to find movies to watch. Just relaxing after work. I get to go hang out with my girlfriend again today. Well, she gets to come over today. So again, yeah, I'm happy, and I will do my best not to just randomly pass out today.
They didn't know that's what happened, Pete, but okay.
That's what I'm gonna be like. Yeah, I'm gonna be like George Washington, and I just can't
cannot
lie.
lie.
I
Yeah, this
straight up,
is-
if I went quiet, it's because I somehow magically ended up in my bed and woke up like 3 or 4 hours later and realized I fell asleep.
No, Pete works hard. He's tired, so.
I do work hard, bro. I worked 1 to 9 a.m. today. I'm tired.
Oh my gosh. Jeez Louise, man. Yeah, you deserve that nap, brother. Yeah. And next up, a guy that I can rely on never to fall asleep on shit nubbed. Let me stop. Our good brother, Ninja Guy X. How are you doing, Ninja Guy? What's up, man?
Right, exactly.
Oh, you
no.
son of a bitch, you son of a bitch.
Oh, I'm doing good, man. Like, it's been good. It's been good. I've been streaming this week a lot. Something that I haven't been doing in the last week. So but other than that, I've kept myself busy. It's it's been a busy week.
Awesome. Great stuff, man. Hey, look, we got a lot to talk about today. Today's episode is our zombie episode, even though we got some breaking news. Shout out to our good brother, Daryl Smock, who will be here tomorrow with me for our members as we talk about this further. But Daryl Smock stumbled across something fantastic that I think will get Stadians excited during this period where and me and Pete were talking about this earlier. All of us were talking about this earlier, where I think there are some things to discuss, but there's a little bit of doom and gloom spice out there that doesn't need to be there. You know what I mean? So during this phase, there's a nice little palate cleanser that we're about to get into as far as breaking news is concerned, and I can't wait to talk about that because it's about a great looking game. But in today's episode, our main topics we're going to cover is in episode 89. You see I'm stalling because I'm trying to find my notes. All right. Join us for episode 89 as we talk Stadia's controversial port of World War Z aftermath. Projekt Z Kickstarter news. That's a happy zombie. And Q1 review of Stadia in 2022. But before we get into all that, just a couple of reminders. First and foremost, PNTS Network, that is the mother network of this show, of StadiaDosage, all that great stuff. We are trying to find writers for Stadia content. So if you're interested in writing for Stadia, writing for PNTS Network about Stadia content here, let me show you something. Watch it be wrong. Oh no, it was right this week. Oh my God, I pulled up the right thing. Oh, okay, the show's over. I'm amazed. It's over. No. If you want to write for PNTS Network, come and check us out. Come holler at us. I promise you, we may offer you more than IGN. What do they want to give you? $5 and a pack of Newports? I promise you.
Newport short.
Yeah, they give you a Newport short. There's more on the table. Dude, me and Jack were laughing at that because we were talking about this initiative that we're working out, and I was like, Jack, you think that'll be enough to entice people? And we're going back and forth. And then we see IGN's thing, and we're like, holy smokes, are those bastards cheap? So yeah, come on over to PNTS Network. Hey, IGNers that like cloud gaming, come on to PNTS Network. We'll give you more than a Newport short and a pack of Mike and Ikes, all right? So come on over if you're interested. All right, so that's that. Next, let's do this.
I got a question for you, MM2K, actually.
Yes, sir.
For the
Yes, sir.
writers, for people who might be interested. So do you guys, could someone sell an article to you guys? So, they would just do, freelancing?
Basically, yeah, that's what it is. It's per article. We're basing it per article, just like how IGN is basing theirs per article. We're basing it per article. You know what I mean? So you can, you could possibly get you some change, buy you some World War Z DLC packs.
Yes.
Whatever tickles you fancy. You know what I mean? So yeah,
That's good.
That's
good.
a great question. That's a great question.
Yep.
Thank you for bringing that up. So give us a hoot. Reach out to Jack. Reach out to myself, and we'll be in talks. All right. With that said, now it's time for everybody's favorite part of SSC podcast. This is the what's happening. What do we want to call this, Ninja Guy X? The Wiki report.
Yeah. The what's happening on Wiki or yeah.
It would be nice for you to know, right? If I shared my screen with you, right?
You
would help.
I really don't know. But no, we got some interesting changes since last week because since last week we got April 1st came out and we've got some new games. So let me just let you know what changed. So for the game list, we added City Legends, which is a new game that came out on April 1st. We updated the Pro Games list for April 1st also in the Pro Games section. So the City Legends also, we've learned that it has direct touch. So we added that in the statistics. We also completely forgot Samurai Showdown. Since the beginning, this was like the first game that came, one of the first games that came out on Stadia.
Yes.
It has crowd choice, and we completely forgot to add that statistic in the system. So, guys, Samurai Showdown has crowd choice if you ever want to give that a try. Then Those Who Remain has a PEGI rating. So this is a game published by Wired Production. And so it's very promising. We might see it sometime soon. We'll see how it goes. Other than that, there's been some correction. Of course, we've added World War Z, right? Everybody's pretty excited about this one.
Yes.
And we also added 3 new time trial. We've got a few more time trial. We got Humankind that I can remember. World War Z is one of them, and then we got another one which I just can't remember at the moment. But in terms of future updates, we're planning on maybe adding something on the game list. We've got the whole list of all trailers, official trailers for Stadia. So we're kind of thinking of maybe adding these trailer links on the game list. And then we also lately we've noticed that there's like a game page. You probably know what I mean in M2K, right? There's like game page links now for some of the games.
Yep, because we used to do that. I don't know if you guys remember Ninja Guy X, Main or Pete, but there used to be a site that did that, and then the site stopped it. So that and then it looks like Stadia's bringing it back, so that's cool.
Oh, that's very cool.
Was it Stadia Hunters? Not Stadia Hunters. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. If you remember, let me know because I'm very, very curious. I've never heard about it. But we're looking to maybe like post these links in the game list. So we just want to look into like the format, see what it would look good. We're looking to that. But that's it for the wiki update, guys.
Awesome stuff, man. So, let's get into it because before we went live, I'm going to start off with Pete. Pete tried to lie to us and tell us he took a break from Elden Ring. And I don't believe Pete. This is the Fight Club episode. Pete is lying. He said he took a break from Elden Ring. So
I did.
I want to hear him say this to you live on air so you guys don't think I'm crazy. So let's start off with what we've been playing this week. Pete, go ahead and lie to our good listeners. No. What have you been playing this week, my friend?
As a matter of fact, I have been playing Sunset Overdrive.
Woo!
Good choice.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, I love the music. Yeah.
So what made you? Or you just were going through Game Pass or something? Or what made you? Great game, by the way. But what made you select that?
I was just going through Game Pass, and then I realized, hey, it's on PC Game Pass, and I get to play it at uncapped frame rates.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So, that game took on a whole different level.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Anything else, Pete, this week, or no? It's just been mainly Sunset Overdrive.
Mainly Sunset Overdrive.
Wow,
Been playing World
that's
War
cool.
Z.
Yeah.
I was on Elden Ring like 30 minutes ago, but it wasn't much. It's hard to stay away from that game sometimes. But yeah, dude, no, it's mainly been Sunset Overdrive. I love the dialogue in that game. It's just completely unfiltered mess.
Yeah,
I love it.
yeah,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's one of those games, man, that just like it really is a great game in Insomniac's just history that people don't really even understand still, or just now starting to come around to. So it's good to hear like the fact that you said that, man. It that was great to me
Dude,
because
right? Like I
no
played
one
it back on like the Xbox One, and I just like it even at 30 FPS, it's
yeah,
but now I can play it on capped frame rates and just not care, and then I can just go slay everything at like 60 and above. So that's
very, very
even
cool
better.
game.
Hey guys, I
Very
just
exciting.
Maine, I don't want you to make any adjustments yet because I gotta also be cognizant of the audio podcast. But can you guys hear Maine okay? If because he was a little low on my end and I turned him up, but I want to make sure that
good.
he's turned up on you guys' side as well.
That's
How about on the panel? Can you guys hear Maine all right, or does he sound low?
I heard him a little bit better just now.
Okay. All right, so he's
Okay.
probably good. All right. Because we got to hear main games, man. Can't be having all this fancy new stuff that we're going to be doing to the audio podcast, and not hear main. All right, so we're going to fix that. All right, that's cool.
Okay.
Let's. Well, speaking of main, now that we put the spotlight on you, good brother, what have you been playing?
Oh, you know what? So in addition to World War Z, of course, also on Stadia, I actually been dipping into Destiny 2. I never really finished the Witch Queen, so I'm kind of jumping in with some new people. Actually, Lo-Fi Monk, and he's new to the game, so I've been going through and
Lo-Fi.
helping him out. Yeah, and doing some stuff with him. That's been pretty cool. Just welcoming somebody new to the community. That's been fun. But also, I've been playing. Actually, I'm waiting to play one of my favorite RPGs of all time, and that's Chrono Cross remaster that came out today,
Wow.
and that later on
Very
today.
cool.
Yeah.
I'm excited to play that. But yeah, that and probably honestly, Death Stranding director's cut is another one that I've been having in my rotation too. I'm a big Kojima fan, and I love Death Stranding, so I'm jumping into that as well. But that's about it for me.
Chrono Cross. I love JRPGs, and don't you guys throw your tomatoes at me, but I've never played more than half an hour of Chrono Cross or Chrono Trigger. I know. I know I'm a
I
fraud.
haven't played it at all, so I'm not even gonna hate on
Oh,
you.
thank you, Pete, for taking the Rotten Tomatoes hits.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not going to. I'm not. Everybody has their different preferences, and there's some games that even other people might like. Like we talked about my history with. I don't know if you guys know this. My history with Zelda. I haven't played. I only played a Minish Cap and what's it called, Breath of the Wild. But that was because
I haven't touched Breath of the
game.
Wild
You know what I
either.
mean? So it's like there's other games that for whatever reason. So yeah, I get it. It's a great RPG. I love it because I think it introduced. You have 40 characters that you can play with, add to your party, and there's different like nuances and different kind of story like arcs and branches, and there's time travel and stuff involved and things like that. So it's a really cool game, man.
The way you level up and the way the
Yeah.
elements works, like with the colors and stuff. Very cool.
Dragon Quest is the only proper JRPG.
Oh,
that's a
wow.
Classic RPG out
Hey,
there.
dude.
Yeah.
That's a solid one. They
Dude,
stick to the formula with that one.
Dude, I'm gonna take you and we're gonna go back in the hot tub time machine, and we're gonna go back to what was that 1990, and I'm gonna force you to play a game called Phantasy Star 2, the best JRPG of all time, and make you eat those words.
No.
Oh boy.
No.
Told y'all this was Fight Club.
I mean, Phantasy Star is pretty good and all, but like, I've played Phantasy Star, but I was born like a little bit after Phantasy Star came out. So I was born in '93.
Oh wow!
So like, I've played Phantasy Star.
The Fantasy Star.
And I was
the first one was
getting
trash.
back on it.
Yeah.
I was thinking about getting back on it since they like redid it for PC. So like,
yeah, I get it. That was the most effed up video game that I've played at a younger age. So it tormented me because some like messed up stuff happens, and I'm like, oh my God, what am I witnessing here? So yeah, that stained me. That's probably why I'm so demented now. I think I was a good kid till I played that damn game. But yeah, that was it soiled me. That was a great game.
Stained and
Yeah,
soiled.
exactly. Okay, that's you know what? No, and here's my superficial reasons for not playing it. I was an old fogey. Even back then, I was very, very stubborn. And an RPG where you get around and you slash people, this isn't turn-based. This isn't a real RPG. That's why I didn't play. And everybody looked at me and said, "You effing idiot." Whatever. We're playing this game, and everybody loved it. And as time pursued and went on, I just missed out on it. And I want to play it. You know what I mean? I definitely want to play it.
Yeah, first off, that was a great pun. You said it's time pursued because it doesn't take time. That was great.
Didn't even know that I didn't even mean to do it.
See what you did there. But yeah, it's a really, to me, it's awesome because of course everybody knows Chrono Trigger. It's held as one of the best, the greatest RPGs of all time. So it's like you factor that in, and then of course 20 years later you get Chrono Cross. And while it's an interesting property because while at first if you would explain to people what it was and how it correlates to Trigger, you got a lot of hate and backlash. But over the years, especially now, it's starting to get its roses, and it's a very unique RPG. And just to me, the music and everything about it is what I love. It's just good to see people coming back and be like if you look at the numbers on Twitch and on YouTube, people are playing this game.
Oh
which
yeah,
to me,
absolutely
makes me excited because I'm like, yes, these people finally get to see what it's my favorite of all time. So it's cool to see the love out there, man, especially for a property that you didn't think would get that much love and respect.
Maine, let me just ask you this real quick. Are you a big JRPG fan?
I am.
Okay, great. Because I got to hook you up with somebody. Snow Bunny Gaming. She's part of PNTS Network too.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll have some great conversations. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, I'm down.
Me and her actually were going to do a JRPG show, and just she had to take care of some medical things. So
yeah, of course.
Oh yeah, but dude, she knows her shit, and her big thing was Switch. That was her angle was Switch. Mine's was Stadia, Storm's was everything, and hers is Switch. So she is a Switch guru. I got to connect you
RPGs on Switch is garbage. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that.
Hey, yo, Snow Bunny, this guy Pete is crazy. If you're listening, he's out of control. Don't blame me. And she'll come in. How dare you say that about the Switch?
I'm just saying, like the Switch is really good, but that's hardware starting to show, dude.
Yeah, but it's great for things like JRPGs.
Really it is. Yeah. Well, don't be the older JRPGs maybe, but like I saw footage of it trying to run Monstrum Nox, bro.
Yeah.
And when that screen gets crowded, it drops to like less than 5 FPS.
And I wish that Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2 was on better hardware because it shows that it's starting to struggle.
It actually hurts my eyes when it drops to like 5 FPS. And I'm not even the person that like normally is like, hey, I'm fine with this. It doesn't really hurt my eyes. It just like kind of like looks weird. But no, that straight up hurts my eyes.
I know this isn't part of the show, but it's all great conversation nonetheless. I guess we would all agree, like one of the perfect places for JRPGs would be Stadia. Like Stadia, and especially these older ones. Like the biggest thing against our platform verbally is you got nothing but old games, but JRPGs are timeless. Like I'm boggled, and again, I know it's easier said than done, but I'm boggled that we don't have like a collection of JRPGs just coming in every month. You know what I'm saying?
Like, I would love Trials of Mana.
I mean, we have
oh my God,
yes. Yes. We have more JRPGs than Xbox. Though, so that's
we do. That is true. Trust me. I know.
The thing is, what's more convenient with the Switch is that sleep mode, right? Like this is the only feature that's missing that would be so good for RPGs.
Yeah.
Because like people that are busy, right? Like it's hard to take the time and find a save. Like you can just put it on sleep mode and go do your thing and then come back, and so that's why it's so convenient.
I will say though that I'm looking for. I'm in the July to September batch of Steam Deck, so I'm looking forward to that as well. Because
Mhm.
Oh yeah, that's
can't
Yeah,
wait to put my
yeah.
RPGs on there too. That's
Nino
so
Cooney, like there's
yeah.
like
Oh man, I got all of them
Ah,
ready. I got them ready.
yeah.
All of them ready.
yeah.
Like Snow Bunny said to me, she said, because I'd mess with her after the shows and be like, we'd be the best of friends if you played Stadia. Stadia'd be great for you. She's like, look, you don't have the JRPGs. You're slacking there, Bucko. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like,
Yeah.
but she's right. I mean, this platform would be perfect to where
Oh man.
what we're going to be talking about later as far as Q1 and all that stuff would be obsolete. I think that there should be at least 3 JRPGs that are old, whatever, because they're timeless, that could be brought to the platform a month. 3. I don't think that's asking for too much because there's a slew of them,
Yep.
Mhm.
right? So
Nothing wrong with that at all.
I don't know, but I still love this platform.
I got
Some
breaking
things more
news.
than- Uh-oh.
I got breaking news.
What is that, sir?
Oh, it might not be breaking news. Far Cry 6 just did another title update, and they added a new mode called Guerrilla Mode.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Did they add
Cool.
60 frames per second?
No.
Okay,
Is
well,
there-
let's move on. No, I'm just
Is there-
joking.
is there actual-
No.
Just
Is there
joking.
actual
Oh my
gorilla
gosh.
in the
Hey,
game?
Pete's in there with me. Yeah, dude, I just released a excerpt for PC, and I promise, guys, we're gonna move on. But I just released a piece of excerpt that I did for PC where I like crank everything up and got the best visuals on PC, and the game looks great playing it on PC, nonetheless, even though it's bloated, and I can't even download the HD textures anymore.
How about
It's so
you
bloated.
just buy it for me on PC, so I'll have it on PC and Stadia.
I'll get it. Okay, not a problem.
No, I'm just okay. All right,
No,
fine.
I owe you. I'll get it.
Shit,
You're
I'll
not-
play through it all again, and I'll just start it on Guerrilla Mode.
Here we go. Can I owe you too? Damn.
No, people don't understand. Pete, look, okay, so a couple things real quick. Pete has done so much for the network and was promised to be compensated like decades ago, and he hasn't gotten anything, but it wasn't intentional. So there was that, and I was supposed to get him something for his birthday, and I didn't work out because of effing Steam, me trying to gift him something through Steam, which I didn't realize was so difficult. Then I promised my brother, I said, I'm going to ship you this extra monitor that I have because you want. And he said, okay, just let me know what the shipping is, and every time I go to do it, my wife has me doing something, and I miss going to the post office.
Damn.
So there's that. So I got to do something for him. You know what I'm saying? Before
Absolutely. Show 'em some love.
before Pete releases a diss track on me or something. You know what I mean? I got to do something.
Yeah, next thing you know, it's gonna be out on all platforms. Tidal, Spotify.
Exactly. Vinyl, everything. Yeah.
Look, he gonna revive LimeWire, put that on there too.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll revive LimeWire. I'm gonna put it on Kodi since that's a media center.
Screw Moss. Yeah.
Exactly.
And I would deserve it. So no, I got to do something for my brother. So we're gonna make that happen. All right. Okay. Cool. Awesome stuff. All right. Last but not least, Ninja Guy X, you've been waiting patiently, good brother. What have you been playing this week?
Oh yeah. So I'm gonna make this quick there, but so this week I've been playing some Baldur's Gate 3 early
that
access
is
on
right.
Google Stadia. Yeah.
Yes.
So kindly donated by Jack the Slip. So thank you very much for the generous gift, Jack. It was very appreciated, and as a thank you, that's what I'm doing. I've been streaming all week, and it's been fun. But other than that, during my free time, I play some Weird West, which came out on March 31st, and I really love this game. It's so good. Yeah, it's like a CRPG type of game in the Western environment. It's so fresh, it's so different, and I love it. And other than that, I always finish my games in order, and I decided, you know what, I'm gonna start Far Cry. So I've been playing Far Cry 1.
Holy cow!
On PC. Yeah, on realistic mode, and let me tell you, it's as hard as Doom. So I've been having a fun time with that. Yep. And that's about it.
That's awesome.
Oh wait, I've been playing some Sonic. So I finished Sonic 1. Now I'm playing
Really?
Sonic on the Game Gear. Yeah, yeah, I've been playing some Sonic.
Oh, the Game Gear. Do you have like how long do you play for? Like 30 minutes where you got to change the batteries out?
Oh no! Wait, I'm not doing that. I'm using my phone, which
I was
has
gonna
like
say
12 hours of battery, so I'm good to go. Yeah.
batteries be gone in 30 minutes.
Oh yeah, I remember. I was waiting for the Wii release at Walmart, like in the early morning before it opened,
Yeah.
and I brought my Game Gear. And I thought like, oh yeah, that's gonna be awesome. I put my 6 batteries in, played 30 minutes, and then I had nothing to do for the whole time. It was a fun time, man. Yeah, fun time.
One question I did have for you, really quick, Ninja guys. I'm also a big Baldur's Gate fan, and I did play Baldur's Gate 3. I have it on Stadia and PC, but I want to wait. Right, every time I get into it, I get too heavily invested, and part of me is just like, no, man, don't do it. Just wait, just wait. Has it?
Yeah.
I know that they did the Barbarian update. How does it feel to you right now in its current state?
Oh, I'm actually using the Barbarian, and wait, am I? Yes, I am. I think I am. But it feels good. But the thing is, I've never played it before, right? So I can't
Oh.
compare it to what it was. But no, it's really good. It's a good class. You got some different decisions, like with different classes, and Barbarian has some pretty like angry decision making, which is
Oh wow.
fun. Yeah, but no, the fighting is good. I like there's a skill that he has that does a ton of damage, but in return, like you get a lot of damage, right? If you don't end up killing him or something. So it's a good reward risk kind of a situation with him. So yeah, I really like him. And the reason why I picked him is because, like a barbarian or like a fighter is usually like one of the easiest class to play, and that's what I wanted to do for my first playthrough. And then I'm gonna go ahead and try like a cleric, or a wizard or something like that for my next playthrough.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. I'm Team Druid, by the way, but
Oh yeah.
So, man, let me ask: are you waiting because you're concerned about every time they do the updates, they wipe your character progress? Or
no,
something
it's
like
not
that?
that. It's
Okay.
just that for me, like I want to play this game, but it's just like because I know that it's the first chapter, so the first good chunk. I don't want to go through and beat it,
Yeah, I get you.
like, and not come back to it. You know what I mean? Because I may feel like I've
Mm.
done
He's
all
in
I
the
think.
same part. I
Yeah, so it's
played like an hour or two of it, and I got so engrossed in it. I was like, I can't
Yep.
keep
Yep.
going, knowing that
Yep.
I'm only getting a chunk. I want the whole
And
effing thing. You know what I mean?
and here's the
So
thing, right? And I've had that experience where I played a game called Evolve, right? People probably remember that game.
yeah, I remember that.
And
Yeah,
I
yep,
Oh my
played
gosh,
the
yes.
hell out of the beta, right?
yep.
And I played so much out of the beta when the actual game released, I didn't get it. 'Cause I did everything, and I felt
Yeah.
like,
Oh.
you know what I mean? So it's like I don't want to invest too much in this game because I feel like if I do, then when it releases, I've played so many hours, countless hours, and going through because I go through all the dialogue, I exhaust everything, and at that point, I'm be like, well, do I want to go through that again, all over again, for too many
Yeah,
other chapters? So
that's
kind of
me.
like tempering.
Understandable for sure.
Yeah,
That's me.
but it's
Like
awesome.
if they were to say something like, okay, this is our last big update
Right.
25.3,
Right.
and before the game goes live, and from
I'll jump in.
25.3 to live, we're carrying over your progress. Then you know what I
Oh,
mean?
I'm in.
yeah.
I'm in,
Yep,
and nothing else is getting my time.
I got you.
I'm in.
Very cool. But no, very good game. Like whenever you're gonna start this game, you're really gonna be happy with it. It's incredible. If you've played the older Baldur's Gate, like it's nothing. Like they're nothing. Like this game is just so well thought, so well made. Like it's crazy.
Awesome,
Incredible.
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I played Division 2.
Mm.
I played the PTS on PC. And yeah, like we were talking to Lo-Fi last week, man. We were trying to convince him like you got to buy the game, and I think we did convince him.
Yeah, no, you did. You
Um,
thought you did.
I didn't think it could get any better. I just thought there would be more content. They've actually perfectly tweaked it. The balance is like crazy because one of the problems that I had is in challenge mode. When you play challenge mode, if you get your ass kicked too much, they nerf it down a little bit. And I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, no, if I'm getting my ass kicked, that's why I have it on challenge. I'm expecting to. So let me keep trying. And if I don't like challenge, I'll switch it out of challenge and go to something lesser. They don't do that anymore. You know what I'm saying? And well, they didn't do it in the PTS. And the enemies are balanced perfectly, and where if you're playing in challenge and you take over a control point, that's not it anymore. You got to fight waves upon waves, and you might want to just leave. And if you leave, they might take the control point back. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, some cool stuff that they did. Oh man, so I'm loving it. I didn't get to check the new control thingy yet, but I was just going around playing control points. And control, and the control mode is a mode where there's 8 of you. You got to take over a tower. It's PvE, and you got to take over this nuclear plant. And I didn't have 7 other people to play with, and they tell you we don't scale to how many people there are. So if you don't have 8 people, you're going to get decimated. You know what I mean? So I didn't play that, but the game within itself is just balanced perfectly now. So
yeah, that's the kind of stuff that I like. I love RPGs and I love MMOs and all that stuff, but it's something about games like Destiny, like Division, like those looter kind of like shooter, like persistent world and PvE, VP, I guess you could say. I love that stuff. So I'm come back and I check it out. I was playing a couple weeks ago, and I want to come back after this update and check it out because that sounds like they got it. They got it like a chef's kiss.
It's perfect. It's perfect. You're definitely going to want to try it. What else? And then WWZ, the reason why we're late. I know there's a lot. I'm gonna just say this. I know we're gonna get into it, but here's what I'm doing this episode, because in me editing last episode, I realized. I mean, I knew it before, but I realized how much I bloviate on this show. So after this part, I'm shutting the hell up, and it's all panel. You've heard what I've had to say about this. I'll repeat it one last time for those that aren't aware. I get the issues that people are having with WWZ. I think there's proper places for you to go to deal with those issues. But at the end of the day, when you look at the game, it's still fun as hell. And I am having a blast. But I've not had this much fun with a game on any platform in a long time. So, I can't put it down. And then there's this one part that I'm stuck on that I can't beat. For those that saw the stream on StadiaDosage streams, check it out. Shameless plug. You'll know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I'm having a blast with the game. So yeah, I get the problems. We're about to talk about them. You're gonna get the panel's thoughts on it. You already heard mine, but to me, it's a hell of a game. I won't say it's a hell of a game. It's a hell of an experience that, yes, things need to be addressed. So
makes sense.
All right. With that said, man, let's get into. Let's do it. Let's get into these topics. First and foremost, let's talk about it. World War Z. That's topic number 1. And I got to fix that graphic. But while we're fixing that graphic, let me just say this real quick. Oh, no. I almost forgot. Oh, Jesus Christ.
I was about to say. I was like where's that? Yeah.
We got a whole thing. Yeah. I just wanted to get Main's thought on it, but hopefully we got enough time. Maybe not. But no, Black Myth Wukong.
There you go.
Yeah. Thank you, Ninja Guys.
Yeah.
I ain't take my meds and my Metamucil today. Here, let me show you something. Shout out to Metamucil. We're looking for a sponsor.
Hey man, you know what they say? Metamucil get you loose.
Exactly.
Oh no, you did not just say that.
Pete's gonna make that part of his diss track. MM2K, Metamucil, get you loose. Get it together.
Ain't
make commercials.
No way! I just heard what I think I heard.
Shout out to Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Like, what kind of loose are we talking about?
Oh man!
Is
that Aqua Teen?
Yeah, it was Aqua Teen. Yeah, I think Meatwad said
it. Yeah, one of his freestyles. Yeah. Oh man, love that show. That's a whole nother podcast. I can't talk about.
Aqua Teen's a classic.
Oh
bro.
my god. My favorite episode is the Christmas episode. I almost got fired from my job.
Oh my gosh.
I was in a meeting. This is how bad I am about Aqua Teen. I was in a meeting, and me and my manager at the time, because we both like Aqua Teen, But again, we're in a professional setting and shit. And we had like a big client, I can't say who they were, but they were huge. Big client that was calling in. And me and him, we had the foulest mouth. And we would just, repeat Aqua Teen and redo the skits. And we're redoing the skit for the Christmas episode where Carl was, he was talking about how his dad used to boil pieces of the carpet and feed it to him for Christmas. So we're like, so we're like reenacting that scene, and the client's on the phone, and we didn't even. Even realize, dude. Oh my! I said I'm about to lose my job over Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
They really about to fire you now.
That was the worst. Yeah, that was the worst conversation I've had at work ever. Yeah, but yeah, no, we Jesus, I forgot what's the name of this damn game? Black Myth Wukong. Shout out to Daryl Smock Jr. who's in the chat. We see you, Daryl Smock. Daryl was like, you almost passed up my breaking news. We got breaking PNTS Network. Oh, Daryl Smock Jr. finds his hidden gem about Black Myth Wukong. And he does a tweet. He does it here in a tweet, and he found something in the Q&A section where let me see here. It said one of the questions is, on what platform Wukong prepares to launch? And the answer is PC and other mainstream consoles. Cloud gaming platforms capable of running the game smoothly are also being considered. So that's huge news, considering the last thing that we heard, if I can find it, from our good friend John Scar. John Scar had asked somebody that had dropped a whole bunch of details. John is everywhere. He's asked somebody a bunch of details like, is this game coming to Stadia? And I'm talking about Wukong, and someone had dropped a whole bunch of information about it. And he did reference that it was coming to cloud gaming platforms, but to now hear that they're specifying cloud platforms that can play the game. Here goes the official website of the game. I want to drop some trailers on you while we're talking about this. So let's do it. Let's mute it. All right. And now that you can see all that, we're going to go and ask questions to the panel. When they talk about cloud platform strong enough to play it, you know what they're talking about. Talking about Stadia and GFN. Right now, they are, unless something magical happens.
Bro, I don't even want to hear nothing about GFN because I've been posting. I don't even pay. I don't even pay for GFN. I just use a free tier just to see, bro, and it's running like hot garbage.
Yeah.
Like, no joke. I'm running an RX 570 on my PC, dude. It's not even that good. Like, it's good enough, but it's not even that good. You could tell where my card struggles. And I try to play it on GFN, and it runs like garbage. Runs like infinitely better on my PC. Like, no joke. Like, it's stuttering, like, no joke, like every 2 or 3 seconds. It's so bad.
That's horrible.
It's so bad. It's horrible.
Well, I'm not. We'll get into GFN a little bit. I'm not. I mean, yeah, they're getting it. They're a PC conduit, and you can get me. You can get me and Pete on a tangent about GFN for decades and decades. Kudos for them. They're getting it too. Whatever possible.
It's very entertaining to hear M2K and Pete talk about GFN. It's really fun. I got my popcorn there, and I'm like, hell yeah! It's time for another GFN conversation.
Exactly. But with that said, man, like, knowing that that's the litmus that they're holding, let me ask the panel: do you think that the dev had Stadia in mind? I'm theorizing that, but do you think the dev had Stadia in mind when they said powerful enough to play it? Let's start with Maine. Maine, what do you think?
I think so. I mean, regardless of how you may see it, I've been recently also playing on xCloud recently too, and I think that it's fine, but it's not at the point where they can run a game like this. I can honestly say. So I think that other proven ones like Stadia, I think especially Stadia in particular, I definitely think that that's who they're talking about for sure. Like there's come on, there's no other Like what other place can you find right now? Like as far, especially if you have the CCTV, connected to your TV and playing other games like that. Like this is definitely who they're talking about for sure.
Ninja Guy X, what do you think? You think that they were referencing Stadia or they were just saying in general?
It's a tough one. I'm not sure what they were thinking. Like I
Mhm.
don't know how familiar they are with Stadia, right? Like they never
Mhm.
mentioned Stadia. I know that when like a few times I've seen when they mentioned it right after Xbox. So I'm
Mhm.
wondering if they mostly meant like Game Pass Cloud when
Mhm.
they say like a powerful cloud service. But in my head, I'm like, is there any game that like any cloud service like one of the main four that would not be able to run this? Right? I think they all have. They're all powerful enough to do it. Um, but I know that Pete it doesn't work well with you, but it can run it with stutter, like
Yeah.
with some issues. But yeah, so it's really hard. Like I'm not sure if they're actually considering Stadia, but the way that they mentioned that they're considering it. So I think that what we need to do is that we need to uh, spread the word. Like tell them like, hey, we're like a big community that needs this game on our platform, and I think
Mhm.
that's when they'll be looking into Stadia and see like what they can do. So, but yeah, I'd be very curious to know what's in their mind for sure on that.
Awesome. Yeah. Pete, now we got to be honest, Pete. I know GFN had some issues, but
A
I
lot of
think that
issues, but
they would be able to definitely, and with the 3080
well,
tier particularly.
100%. Yes, I'm not
Mhm.
saying that GFN's not smooth. I just think it's wrong that it's like they're like basically pushing the free tier to like you have to pay like
Mhm.
100%. You like
Mhm.
have to.
Yeah. So you think, but opposite of GFN, do you think they were thinking about Stadia when they added that to the Q&A, or is it just a coincidence?
No, I think they are thinking about Stadia because it's not a hidden fact
Mhm.
that Stadia is extremely smooth, according
Mhm.
to all the people that have actually tried it and not say, "Oh, Stadia is not smooth," but they've never actually touched it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you even caught this, but Akash Monger had said that Stadia's SDK for Unreal Engine got updated to match the current one for Unreal Engine
Yeah.
5.
Yeah.
So I'm
Great
almost
point.
positive Stadia can definitely run it. It's
Mhm.
just a matter of them basically saying, okay, yeah, go ahead. And it's not like they may not mention Stadia, but that doesn't mean that they're not in talks either.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So I think that Stadia is definitely included along with GFN. I want to say it's mainly just Stadia and GFN.
Gotcha. So with that said, let me ask Maine. Let me start with Maine again on this one. Oh, Jesus Christ. Let me turn that down.
Oh,
Oh, that was
damn.
like,
So tell us in Chinese what you think about this
yeah, I
game.
know. Yeah, exactly. Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Bled out my eardrums. Maine, what do you think? I mean, because it's funny that we're talking about this. We know what Stadia is capable of,
Right.
but it's only as good as what the developers put into it. We're starting to see that
Correct.
with World War Z. Great game, but we know that it could have been better, right? In
Right.
some regards.
Mhm.
What do you think Stadia should do to help ensure this is one of the better ports on the platform?
Man, I think it's interesting, right? Because I'll use an example really quick. A game that I was really hoping to enjoy on Stadia was Sekiro.
Yeah.
I'm a
Mm,
big Sekiro fan, and
good
just
example.
from software. And if you look at the performance, it's blurry. It's not sharp. There's just a lot of different things that just don't sit right with me.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually returned it once before, and I got it again because I was like, you know what, maybe this is something that they can fix. I think that it comes down to a lot of different issues, right? It could be the tool set that
Mm-hmm.
that Google's offering, but also it could be maybe Google is saying, "Hey, we give you free reign," but of course, maybe they're saying, "Okay, whatever you can do on your end as a developer, whatever tools you have, this is what you're going to be able to put out." So I
Yep.
think that it's tricky because we don't know who's being able to allow what. We don't know if Google's saying, "Hey, if you need more processing power, if you need more development power, you need more this, more graphics, all that stuff, we'll give you that." We don't know if it's that, or they're just saying, "Hey, go ahead, put the game up there, but you're in charge of all the other resources." If From Software didn't have the resources and overhead to put out a great port of Sekiro, that's kind of what we got to deal with, and that's the kind of thing that it makes it interesting for me. I don't know. I would hope that this team for this game will be able to make a great port, but it just depends on what they're able to do and what they're able to bring to cloud, and how well enough they can adapt it to fit this kind of literally graphically intensive game.
hmm
It's, I don't know, man. It could go either way.
Yeah, because this is going to be graphically intensive.
Heavily.
I definitely want to see, Stadia really say, "Hey, look, we can, we can play this game.
Right, exactly.
Our platform can handle this."
Yeah, that's what we want, right? We want them to say, "Hey, you see the way it looks on these trailers. This is what you can expect." But it just there's a lot of the stuff that goes behind the scenes, much like we talked about in the for the presentation, right? For the Dev Summit, it's a lot of other things that are going on behind the scenes that we may not be
hmm
aware of. That it just comes down to maybe resources, time. We don't know. Which is probably why they're saying, "Hey, this is why we offer, the 4K or the other perks with the premium or the pro subscription." So we don't know, but would I like to see this running in perfect parity with the other, consoles and things like that? Absolutely, I would love to see that. But it just depends on what resources are available and how they decide to handle that when it comes to porting it. So we'll have to see. Hopefully it means good things though. I am going to be optimistic about it and say we should be able to see a great showing, because if not, oh man, the people who come out the woodwork.
Yeah. I don't want to see a 1080p 30 frames per second mode. You know what I mean?
It has to look good, right? Like it's one of these games where it needs to showcase the beauty of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same question to you, Ninja Guy. What do you think Stadia needs to do to help support and make this one of the better ports on the platform?
Oh man, it's a good question. I mean, they would probably need to put a lot of resources, because a game like this, I bet you don't need to just do a simple click to port, right? Like you probably have to do sacrifices and things like that. Like from what we've learned from a developer interview this week, actually, on Lumo.
Yeah, that is right. Yeah,
in Mevin 2K. Yeah. They can actually like put squares to focus on what can look better on the screen. So like I think that a game like that would need to take advantage of all of these tools to make sure that it's good for Stadia, because if they port it but they don't do anything to make it look better, like or to make it look as good as other consoles, maybe we're gonna get like the least good version, and then you know how the community is, right? Like they're just gonna be sad about that, and it'll backlash on them. So they really have to make sure that the game looks as good as any other platform.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think, Pete? What does Stadia need to do? If this game is coming to the platform, what do they need to do to support it?
Show some confidence, man. That's all they got to do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Simple answer: show some confidence. You show some confidence, then the opportunities will come. Because you know what, my manager actually just told me the same thing. So, yeah,
that was well done.
Yeah, that was good advice.
I'm trying to move up. So he's like, hey, when you're talking to like the store manager, he's like, and she's talking to you about moving up, she's like, you need to show some confidence. I was like, he's like, I know you can do it. He's like, you work hard. He's like, just show the confidence. Okay. So yeah, they just need to show confidence.
I think in addition to all the suggestions that you guys gave, which was fantastic, I think what needs to happen as well is you got to put some extra care into this. Like the thing that made Stadia realize that we needed to pivot our business model or just pivot our approach was Cyberpunk. What made Cyberpunk so great on Stadia? The extra care that QLock put into it, that a porting house put into it. This game is creating a lot of buzz. This game it's revolutionary in a lot of ways, not just because of the lighting effects and stuff. You see Daryl Smock is just going crazy in the chat, not just because of some of the visual effects and things like that, but because this is a game that is coming out of China. You don't normally see AAA games coming out of China. So this could be like untapped resources that's going to get everyone's eyebrows raised. And you're like, oh God, yeah, this is a new gaming region, China. All right. So you want to be ahead of the curve. And I mean, granted, this game isn't coming out till 2023. Granted, the low charge porting process should be, further ahead than what it is now, but dedicate a special team of people that, regardless of how the low charge porting process is, that when this game comes out, that they tweak it. They tweak it even more. Like this is a game, like everybody has alluded to, should shine on the platform. We can't War Z this. You know what I mean?
Exactly. The mindset, the reason why we have that mindset is just because of what recently happened, right? So
exactly.
I like that you said that.
Exactly. Yeah. We can't War Z this. We can't Far Cry 6 this. You know what I mean? And again, Far Cry 6 isn't a horrible game. It's just that the 60 frames per second standard should be there. The 4K, even if it's upscaled from an 1800p, should be there. And even the performance mode should look good, upscaled from a 1400 or a 1400p. Like this is likely your next Cyberpunk. You know what I mean?
I agree. I think honestly, one of the other things. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. I was just gonna say, think of Elden Ring. This is not. I mean, Pete's probably gonna bash my head in, but think of Elden Ring and how big that game was. And this is
this game is not past tense.
Well, yeah, true. How great that is. This is gonna be a more graphically impressive Elden Ring to a degree. You want that visual aspect to shine. I'm sorry, man. Go ahead.
Oh, what I was just gonna say was that, especially like another topic, I think that is imperative that we also discuss is these games are going to be like judged in a lot of ways. Of course, like you said, that how they're ported and how they're put it out. But here's the thing, right? Another thing we have to address is the model for the subscriptions, right? We want them to come out with these 4K 60 day and date, right? And be out on top like that. But it's like, how do you justify it when they have a model that says you get that if you pay this extra price here? It makes it difficult too. Yeah, so it's like, well, what do we put this out as then? When it comes out, are we gonna purposefully put it out at 1080p or whatever and gate it so people who have pro can possibly get it? Like that's another issue, another topic that we need to have too, because then now that means that other people who, unless you pay, right, we're gonna intentionally, downgrade it so that way you guys can get it at this price or this base level. And then for those who really want to take advantage of it, which was my issue with when I got Stadia, Sekiro a while ago, was, in order for me to get access to that 4K 60 that people were saying or claiming that they have access to, I have to pay for that. And so it's how are you going to justify putting it out at whatever base frame rate or best visuals are going to put it out at? That's another issue too. I don't know.
Interesting. I mean, yeah, they decided to make their amenity 4K where, Xbox and PlayStation made their amenity online access. You know what I mean?
Correct.
So,
correct.
Yep.
Tough.
Many things to think about.
Hopefully this game does come out and it looks the way, people say it should. You pay $60 for this game. Let's say you don't have pro, right? Let's say just off top, you don't have pro and you pay $60 for this game. Are you expecting to play it at 1080p?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Probably not.
makes sense
Yep.
for sure.
That's kind of how I'm looking at it too.
Your if we still can keep you in the van, let us know main games, or if you got to go, let us know as well. We want to keep you captive as much as we can. So
I got a couple minutes. My daughter's starting to.
Okay,
to
good.
It's time for the go home sign, but yeah, I got a few minutes.
Exactly. That's why, because I heard the warning shots and I'm like, oh
Yeah,
no,
man.
they are the police done caught us. They done flagged our tags.
He's knocking on the door. Talking about, I know my daddy's in here. I hear him.
Yeah, and Dustin Oran in the chat says, can't outrider this. Yeah, like
Right.
that's just my concern is, Stadia went on a world tour with Square Enix about Outriders, and we saw how that came out.
Yep.
Like this has to be pristine. You know what I'm saying? This has to be pristine.
Has to.
Ninja Guy X, did I get you already? I'm sorry. You know me.
Yeah, you got me already. But you're
Okay.
right. Like, this is an issue with Stadia, and I wish it would stop. Where there's always something wrong, right? With any like good release that we got. Like there often we get like later patches compared to other platform, and I don't know. I just can't wait for it to be like up par with everyone else.
I mean, Pete, there's some things that are out of their control, and I don't want to talk like, like for instance, we're going to talk about World War Z, crossplay. Stadia can't control that. But I mean, what they can do is they can say, okay, well, crossplay's not there. Let's move it from our page. There's some things they can control, some things they can't control. But I'm just curious, you know what I mean? Like, get those techs involved. To every game that we've seen that was fantastic, that's because the developers had an in-house team that helped them. Like Ridge Storm, I think it was, helped with the Division 2 port because Ridge Storm had worked on Trials. We had Q-Lock that helped, get the Stadia port of Cyberpunk over. And so if these teams are not willing to do it themselves internally, I don't want us to miss out as the gamer. I think it's important that Stadia starts building a very strong team rapidly. So even if this does come out the low charge porting process, and we don't want this just to be playable. Want this to be a little pristine. You know what I'm saying? I mean, is that a little too much, Pete?
Right.
What do you think? Or
No, not at all. Like how Smock and Ninja Guy had said earlier in our chat is like, maybe Stadia, like not change your business model, but just rethink Pro in general, because Pro has been proven, and devs have come out and said it, they actually earn more revenue when the game is on Pro. So why not, if a game doesn't launch with promised features like it does, then Google should put the hammer down and be like, okay, well, your game's not going to be on Pro anymore, or you're going to have a reduced rate. They'll start reducing the rate at which you get paid from the game being on Pro, so you can keep it on Pro, but you're not going to be getting that much because you essentially launched an incomplete game. Even though the game is complete, you're launching without features that you said would be there.
Yeah.
And that could work. I just also fear that what that might do is that might decentivize people trying to bring their games to Stadia as well. If they feel like they're being told that they need to add this or else, some people might take that as, well, then that's the case. We're not, you can put our game up there then.
I mean, yeah, but if you're gonna say in World War Z's case,
okay, good point.
If you're gonna say, hey, this game's gonna have crossplay,
right,
and then it doesn't have crossplay, that's a problem.
That's absolutely that's true as well. Absolutely.
Like imagine that the Stadia actually made a deal with World War Z, and because they did that with a few games, and they're like, hey, we're gonna give you $100,000 if you port it with us. But then they port it, and that's what happens, right? Like they did not do a poor job. That's not what I mean. But what I mean is they did it like an incomplete job.
Yeah, they did.
In that fact, like can they discuss the contract? You know, like can they maybe like not pay them until it's done, or I don't know how it works, but you know, if you do a contract like that, it should be completed properly, right? Like as a business standpoint.
Well, that's a perfect seg. We might as well segue over to this because it's the 500-pound elephant in the room. World War Z aftermath. So it launched at the release of this week on Stadia, right? It launched without the promised crossplay, and it launched without 4K mode into Pro. I think the first question I did want to ask, but I think we've held this off too long, was what do we think about twos? The hell with that. Let's talk about, let's address the missing crossplay while we're on it first. And let's let Maine do it because I know his time is running short. Maine, what are your thoughts on the missing crossplay from World War Z?
I think that this is one of those things where, like, especially like we mentioned, that it was touted as, you know, coming to the game and things like that, and, you know, kind of it didn't turn out. It literally didn't pan out the way we expected it to. I think a game like this missing crossplay is a travesty, to be honest. There's a lot of people who would love to play this game. Much like any other game, right? Destinies, your divisions, all that, right? It's kind of like the norm now. And for them to say that it was being offered, and then to kind of like say, well, never mind, not anymore, not for right now at least. That to me, like, that makes me feel some kind of way about it. Is the game fun? Hell yeah. But the fact that I have to now wait until they say that they're ready again to be able to play with all my friends wherever that they may be, that's kind of disheartening. You know, it is a little bit disheartening, to be honest.
Yeah, I get it. Ninja Guy X, what do you think? What are your thoughts on the missing crossplay?
So yeah, like I wouldn't care too much. It's just that it was so advertised everywhere. Yeah. Like, oh my gosh, it's just everywhere. Like, play with 15 million people, and it's now a meme. Like, even on Reddit, someone's like, oh yeah, I've edited the trailer, and it says like, play with
I saw that. Oh my god,
that was so funny, right? Oh man, but so that's it. Like I don't want to beg for crossplay, because that just means like, oh yeah, we feel like there's not enough people on the platform, because there can be many people playing. Like, that's what we want. It's just the advertisement. I just, you know, like even on the Stadia app, on the game's description, it did say that it was crossplay, and then they removed it. It's just a mess, man. Like, what I've been hearing, other than that, the game is solid. At least it's a very fun game from what I'm hearing. But yeah, just you know, like the advertisement needs to be better. Like, especially with that and other things, like when a trailer has the Stadia logo, it should be coming out to Stadia. Like, how can you make this kind of mistake? You know, like I don't know, man. Like, the advertisement on Stadia sometimes it's kind of fishy. I don't know like what they need to do to improve on that, but that's definitely something that should need some improvement.
Pete, what do you think? Like, are we're putting this at the feet of Stadia too much, or how do you feel about this whole deal with the crossplay?
No, I mean, I get what you guys are saying, and despite what some people think, I don't stand for Stadia. Pressure does create putting pressure on them does create the ability to basically say, hey, you need to get this done, because then they'll start to see that they're pissing off their loyal fan base, basically.
That's a good point.
So I'm not disagreeing. It's just, but there are some things that are out of their control. Like, it's not like Stadia could sit there, put a gun to their head and be like, hey, you need to do this. But they should be setting stricter requirements and be like, hey, this needs to be done, this needs to be done, or if you advertise such and such, then that's it.
Yeah. It's just like we just needed one Stadia guy trying the game beforehand and be like, hey, this isn't crossplay, you know, let's remove that advertisement. Like, that's all they need to do. Like, they just need this one guy who tests out the game, make sure that what is advertised is there, and, you know, if it's not there, then just remove that advertisement. Don't.
If you're
you know.
listening to me out there, Randy, just remove it next time. You hear me, Randy?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, there's just like a missing, I don't know, like a missing Q&A, I think.
Mhm.
Well, if that's the case, then they should allow users access to these beta titles that they say they have. So we can actually play test the games, and if it doesn't have what it doesn't, then we're able to report on it.
I'm gonna go ahead and dip out after this, but I do agree that would be a great idea, right? You allow us to have access to these betas and alphas and things like that to give you guys feedback, give them feedback on what's going on. Like if they implemented that more, and maybe they can implement that via a demo, like the trial that they have now for games or whatnot. If they can do something like that, where we can be that hands-on or give them feedback through the development of a game, and they actually listen to that and take that feedback, oh man, that would be great too. Like that's something that should be looked at and implemented as well. Why not?
Yeah, gotcha. Well, Maine, I know you got a dip, brother. I wish we could have you longer, but the police caught us. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we ran out of petrol. The van was pooing down the avenue, so that we got to release you back to the family. But we're gonna do this early again. Remind people real quick where they can find you at. All right.
Oh yes, sir. Yes, sir. You can find me at YouTube, of course, youtube.com/main games. I do all sorts of content. I'm doing Let's Plays. I'm doing reviews of games as well soon. I'm doing reviews on xCloud and other cloud content, and just putting out other videos that I do on camera stuff. I'm gonna be changing some stuff up a lot as far as what kind of content that I offer, just to be able to bring more value to people. I also have a Patreon, of course, Patreon/main games as well. Check me out there if you'd like to check that out and support. And that's pretty much it, man. Thank you guys for having me, and it's always a pleasure to be here and hang out with you guys.
Awesome. Thank you, man. Appreciate you coming through, brother.
No problem. Take care, y'all. Peace.
Later, man.
Everyone, Maine, thank you for coming.
No problem.
Yeah, Main's fantastic. We'll take him anytime. We'll kidnap him and bound him.
Best man.
Yeah, bound. Yeah, he's the best man. Yeah, we'll bound him by the feet and take him in the van, in the tie-dye van whenever we can. You know what I mean? So shout out to him. Just real quick, again, I know I promised to be a little less vocal and let the panel give more of their thoughts. I think with the crossplay thing, it's a little bit more difficult, but I do like the ideas that you guys shared. Like, because here's the thing. I was having a discussion with somebody on social media, and they were echoing what Ninja Guy X said, and I said, well, normally this isn't part of the process. It isn't part of the certification process, but because Stadia has a situation where developers are more or less to say, oh, how much are you going to give us? Or great. Thank you for that. And you know what? We told you we were going to give you controller support. Oh, we don't have it. Sorry, we'll get back to you, next year. We're seeing that tendency. Maybe they should say, you know what? If you allow a Q&A through our channels process while developing the game, instead of we'll add an extra 5% to the pro, to the pro kickback, you know what I'm saying? Because there's something called reputational risk. Even like we should all be celebrating. This game is freaking awesome. We should all be celebrating this game. And these minuscule things like whether there's a 4K mode or even crossplay at launch, like those things got to be hashed out. You know what I'm saying? So whatever you can do, Stadia, I mean, again, you can't directly affect this, but whatever you can think of to compensate for the fact that you're not Xbox, you're not PlayStation, and you're more prone to this, that's greater. So maybe what you should do is, again, kick up an extra 2 to 5% on the pro incentive if they put the game through the channels process and let us test it out. You know what I'm saying? So, because that's not cool. That's not cool to not have that feature there, especially when people are in heavy, people's eyes light up when they find out that Stadia has crossplay in a big game like this. For the promise of crossplay to be there again, Stadia, you didn't directly do this, but if you can indirectly help influence it in a different way, that'd be great. Launch without 4K mode, man. I'll start with Pete on this one. Now, Pete, I know you feel a certain way about this 4K thing, so I want to start with you first on this. How do you feel about it launching without 4K mode?
I just straight up, I already said this before. I just don't care about 4K.
Yeah.
I guess, like, dude, most of my stuff I straight up play at 1440, like 1080 or 1440. So, like, and it's fine enough for me. So, like, I don't really care about 4K. All 4K does is take up more data and put a higher strain on your computer. So it's like I don't see the appeal of it because you're sacrificing, depending on your PC, you're sacrificing performance to make it look prettier, and that doesn't make sense because I'd rather have smoother performance over, hey, let's look at all the pretty colors and look at how sharp it is. If I really want to go look at how something pretty looks, I'll just go outside and go stare at a plant or go touch grass or go do something because that's all the cool stuff that I can do because it's never going to get better than real life.
So Pete, are you telling people who like 4K to go touch grass? Is that what you're doing?
They do need to go touch grass.
That's horrible.
I just don't get the deal with 4K, I guess. Like, I have a 4K HDR TV that does HDR10. It's just like I don't like it looks pretty and all, but 4K causes more problems than it's worth, at least to me. Got you.
So you're more or less focused more on gameplay elements than the visual aspects. You know what I mean? So okay, I got you. What do you think, Ninja Gags? What are your thoughts on the missing 4K?
It's not something that I care too much about either, actually. So Peter said it pretty well. Yeah. So
just somebody has my back.
Yeah, right. 2 against 1. But no, but like a few months ago, someone was like, so I was not complaining about saying like, what's the use of 4K? And someone was like, a good friend of mine was like, oh, you don't know until you experience it. And I was like, that's true. I've never tried 4K. So I was like, I'm going to get a 4K TV, like this is the main reason I was like, I like it is time to move on to the next, generation and actually experience 4K. And one of the first game I tried on my TV was Mario Kart 8 on the Switch. And it looked amazing. It looked super pretty. And I was like, and then I tried Doom, I think, Doom 2016 4K, and I was like, why does Mario Kart look better? Like, I don't get it. Like, so I don't know if my eyes doesn't figure out what 4K is or something, but yeah, to me, 4K is just, an extra thing that people likes to have. But I think that a game can be almost like as pretty in 1080 for sure. What I don't like though is MM2K, like you said, with the Far Cry 6 situation, like even if you put it at 1080p, what's stopping it from being 60 frame per second, right? Like we have the power for that. So 4K doesn't matter to me either, but 1080 like 60 frame per second matters if if you're doing 1080, you got to do 60 frame because for me it's just weird. You can just you can optimize the visual as much as you want, but it has to be smooth. And oh man, I wanted to say something else, but I can't remember. Oh yeah, so so I can understand why people can be mad about it, just because of the way Stadia advertise their pros, right? They're always like, oh, with our pro you can actually play 4K. But the thing is that you need a reason to want to subscribe to pro, and without getting these big games being 4K, like, yeah, okay, we are getting like City Legends in 4K, but this is not what we want. We want like the good visuals. We want a subscription that makes sense, you know, to get to this title. So that's why I understand why people are kind of mad about the 4K. But this is not the reason why I'm subscribed to Pro. So that's why personally it doesn't matter to me.
Got you. Shout out to Purple Haze with the $5. Purple Haze
nice.
said with the $5 sticker with the pair character lifting some weights, saying "Keep it up." All right, appreciate you. Thank you, Purple Haze, for your support. And Haze, I thought you was coming on the show. What's going on? Let me know, or let me or Pete know whenever you want to come on. You're the last. You're the last of the crew to come on. All right, so yeah, I get it, and I've spoken my piece about it. I get where people who subscribe to the 4K for the 4K solely. I get where where their thing is. Me, if there was a 4K mode, I wouldn't be playing it. I'm playing the mode that I would be playing anyway. You know what I mean? It's just I can I get where they're coming from. So, all right. Let me see, what else do we have here. So with that said, just to close it off, Pete and then Ninja Guy X, still with all these issues out of the box, whatever you want to call them, what do you think about the overall game after playing it? Ninja Guy X, I know you haven't played it yet.
I'll skip that question, yeah. I'll skip that question.
But we'll let Pete like indulge, and you can just give your view from 5,000 feet, give your thoughts on it. But what do you think, Pete, after playing a game without all this stuff out of the box?
Dude, I still enjoy it.
Yeah,
Honestly,
yeah,
I really do. I mean, I
Yeah.
might just be biased because it's just slaying zombies,
yeah.
but I mean, I enjoy it. I really do. And you know what? I'm kind of tired of people saying that it has matchmaking problems or it needs crossplay because, bro, unless you're doing like horde mode or something, it's hard to find players even on the PC version
Mm-hmm.
because everybody's doing something different. If you're trying to find people for the campaign, it actually does take a minute to find people to play with.
Interesting. Interesting. That's so again, Pete. Yeah, and again, we want you to embellish on this. Tell people are losing their lunch about not. I think they have this understanding because they saw 15 million players that having crossplay would be perfect. But you play this on PC, right?
Yes.
Can you please just break down the PC experience and why maybe Stadia should calm down a little bit? It's not. I mean, it's not going to be as smooth as they thought it was. They thought it would be.
Yeah, you're really not missing much. Like the only thing, and I haven't even tried it on my TV, which I will. I don't even know why I have my TV besides like Netflix and just shows. But you're not missing anything. It's like basically the same exact game, and I just don't get why everybody's freaking out over it because I know Stadia's player base isn't necessarily that big, but like I said, it has crossplay on PC, and no lie, I sat there for about almost 10 minutes waiting for it to find a match, and all it did was find one other person. Just because it says it has 15 million players doesn't mean that there's 15 million active players. And you have to remember, World War Z has been out for a pretty long time now. So, I mean, there's people, but not a whole lot of them are constantly active.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, there's no real difference. I guess the added benefit is I could sit there, go use the bathroom, and still slay zombies. So, it's nice to be able to like do that smock. I see you. 1440 to 4K is a pretty big difference in visuals. Yeah, I get that. But like Ninja Guy, I don't get Pro for 4K, so I just don't care. I guess I have a 4K TV. I can see the differences between 1440 and 4K, and I still don't care.
Yeah.
4K to me is just completely overrated. And Purple, you're right. I don't know why people don't use the party function
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Ah,
enough. Like
yeah.
if you're really trying to find people to play with, guys, like it supports the party function. Use it.
Mm-hmm.
Please use it.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, and what I haven't announced to anybody yet, but Pete is probably going to laugh at me because he's like, "You screwed it up."
I laugh at you regardless.
Yeah, he said, "I'll find something to chuckle about in regards to you anyway." Is that we're gonna start adding LFG groups to our Discord. So this is one of the games that we want to add. Like if you're looking for a group, you know, you just want to come and mingle and figure out who you want to play with. Great. But like Pete just said, there's the LFG system on Stadia, which I don't know. I mean, Pete, go ahead, man. Go ahead and finish. There's just some of this stuff, like the game. All right.
Game runs great, dude. Like I've had zero issue playing it between my PC and Stadia. Like there's no reason for me where it has so many issues where I'm just gonna sit there and be like, okay, I'm just gonna play it on my PC.
Yeah.
Because it runs nearly the exact same. The only thing is the visual compression, which really isn't even that bad either. It's not like it's super pixelated and I can't see what's going on.
Yeah. Yep.
So I get the frustration because it did come with something that they said it was coming, but it's still just like unnecessary hate.
Yeah.
Especially from certain people that are trying to file complaints with the FCC like that's going to do something.
Well, let me say this. And I was about to say this on social media to the individual, but I didn't even, I'm not even opening that can of worms because God bless us all in how we approach these things and our mental health when it comes to this stuff. So I'm just going to say this. I'm all for turning up the heat on companies when they do something specific, but trying to play 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon and making this a law issue. Like I get people can have class action lawsuits, like they even tried it with Stadia and I got thrown out, right? But this is not the avenue that you want to go through. Just speak with your wallets and just ask people to speak. Like if you're that upset, just say, well, you know what? I don't like this. I'm not paying for Stadia Pro. And, you know, whoever's with me, don't pay for Stadia Pro too. I mean, I'm not going that far, but, you know, that's your right. That's a more effective approach than trying to blow something up into something that severe. It's not that. And what that does, and as someone who sat at the board table and looked at feedback, this is what happens. People look at that, they look at you, and they say extremist, and they throw it in the garbage, and they move on to the next one.
I live in garbage.
They just throw it in the garbage. I mean, and again, I'm not trying, you know, I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad about how they feel. It's all about what's effective. So please take it from somebody who sat in that seat and has gone over that. That realm is extreme and it's not going to wield results. What will results in these situations is that's the extreme way that you feel, funnel it through an effective mean. An effective mean is speak with your wallet. You know what I'm saying? Say, look, I refuse to pay if this is what, you know, whatever it is. Whether I agree with you or not, I can respect as a logical and sensible response that's going to go somewhere.
It's a tough. Sorry.
No. I was,
okay.
you know, I was done. Go ahead.
Okay. So what you said, pay with your wallet, play with your wallet. But I'd agree with you at Sony and this, but the problem with Stadia is that we're still looking to get some good publishers with the platform, right? So what's kind of sucks with that is if we decide, we're not going to give money to the World War Z devs, then they'll be like, okay, well, we're not getting money on Stadia, and we're just going to leave it. So it's a very tough situation where, should we really do that? We still want to support upcoming games, but it is.
It's a difficult. It's a difficult choice to make. You know what I mean? And it could go either way. A developer could say, well, if my main compensation for this is going to be via the Stadia Pro process, and you're telling me that people are now not going to play this game, so therefore I'm not going to be able to really benefit from it, the hell with it. It might work in reverse. I was just comparing it to calling the high courts, as some have reverted to. I demand that Section C of the Constitution, under the gun bylaws of this and that you look at. No,
that was pretty extreme. Yeah,
it's not in that realm. Someone who talks to let me not lie, because I haven't done it. Thank God I haven't done it in a couple years, because I do other stuff now. Someone who's talked to the SEC and the and these regulating bodies on a consistent basis and had to file actual complaints, I am here to tell you that's not going anywhere. It doesn't fit the criteria. And I know people look at me as the jackass that think he knows it all. I am telling you, it's a waste of time. Let the clock tick, let the dust settle, and you will find out months from now it is a waste of time. You are only fulfilling your self-absorbed needs by going that route. May make you feel special while you're writing all that stuff, but it's not going anywhere. If you really want results, then you are going to have to, tote that line. Speak with your wallet. But as Ninja Guy X puts out perfectly, it could work in reverse. It's a very difficult situation to deal with. It's just unfortunate that this is not something that Stadia wants, regardless of how you feel, what they could have done or what they should have done. This is happening because Stadia doesn't have the largest player base. So these developers can get away with this crap and tend to it whenever they want to without owning up, because we're not that large. They would never do this to Xbox. They would never do this to They definitely wouldn't do this to PlayStation, because PlayStation will blackball your ass. So that's the situation that we're in, and Stadia is trying to deal with it the best way they feel that they're dealing with it. You know what I'm saying? And we're all chiming in on it. But I can tell you, as someone who regularly dealt with those regulating bodies, it may make you feel good typing it up. It's not going anywhere. Sorry about that. Okay, I shut the hell up. Any other thoughts on let me see here. Any other thoughts on World War Z and what can be done or what we hope for? Go ahead.
So I haven't played the game, but other than the crossplay problem, I've only heard positive stuff about the game. Honestly, I've been lurking around everywhere, and people seem pretty happy about it. So if we take that issue out of the way and just think of the game, I think it's doing generally good. So I'm really happy to hear that. And maybe, just maybe, if we do the opposite, maybe if we make them make a lot of money, then they'll be like, oh, maybe we can invest on crossplay, right? So
exactly.
That's also that would also be good.
Yeah, again, you may look at that and say, I don't want to reward them for bad behavior. No, it's not. You may not want to look at it that way. You may want to look at it as in there is not enough revenue. Like, if it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. That's basically what it boils down to.
There's no right answer. Like
Exactly.
There's just none.
There's
Yeah,
no
exactly.
silver bullet to this. There's no right answer. But there are many ways to look at this, and I can't sit there and say Ninja Guy X is wrong and I'm right, or vice versa. Only thing I can tell you is that writing the Continental Congress and telling them that bylaw 3760, no, it's not going to work.
Nope.
Not going to work. So, all right. Great stuff, y'all. Great conversations. Let's move on to another zombie game that it looks like that the developers may be a little bit more forthwilling to do what we want them to do. Let me show you something. These are our good friends. Here, let me get rid of that. Here, let me get rid of that graphic. These are our good friends at Projekt Z. This is a game that the Stadia community discovered on social media. They talked to the developer and said, we want to see this game on Stadia. And they were like, well, how would we make that happen? And, you know, now the rest is history, because they said that we're bringing this game to Stadia. They also mentioned GFN, and I know that makes Pete happy. But then they said that, you know, well, more to come, or Kickstarter starting April 29th. Well, this is their most recent tweet about it. They said, hey guys, hey survivors, here is our first milestone in relation to the Kickstarter. At 105% funding, Projekt Z will have Stadia GeForce Now support from day one. Check out the full blog post, save now, yada, yada, yada. And everybody's excited. I even see this great whoop to do where, shout out to Nathan Bain, he mentions the channels process. And here's what it really gets tantalizing. I think this was, I was going to say that was, they said we are planning to add crossplay between Steam and Stadia players on day
one.
Day one. So let's talk about it. Let's go to Pete. Did Pete fall asleep again?
No, I'm here.
I'm just messing with you. Hey, Pete, are you excited to see this game? And let me see if I can find it and put it up on the screen. Are you excited to see this game coming to Stadia?
Dude, I like any zombie game. Also, I may have to dip.
Oh, okay.
I like need to clean before my girlfriend comes over.
Oh, yeah. I can dig it. I can dig it.
Anyway, yeah, I mean, as much as I love to be lazy, like, it's not that bad, but like, I do need to clean. But yeah, I'm excited just because I like zombie games in general. Like,
Yeah.
I love playing zombie games, dude. I don't care what it is. Just like a Zombie Army 4, I'll play that just because zombies. And I mean, you can't shoot people in real life, so without consequences. So why not just
do the stupid?
so why not just shoot zombies in a game? I mean, they're dead anyway. There's no point. There's no issue with just making them dead again. And double tap. Make sure you double tap. Aim for the head and double tap. So if the world ever goes to hell and we start suffering a zombie invasion, aim for the head and then double tap to make sure. Because you don't want to shoot something in the head and all you see is a body just rise again and it's still focused on getting you. But in all seriousness, yes, I'm very much excited for it. And it just makes me happy but sad at the same time that the indie devs are doing such a better job of
Good point.
communicating compared to all of the bigger developers. If you're watching this, you're getting shown up by the indie devs. And don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
I'm not even trying to say that indie devs are bad. I love indie games. But y'all are getting shown up by all of these smaller devs, and at least they're communicating and they're doing it pretty well, because that's insane. But yeah, that's basically how I feel.
I don't know if I should be saying that, but I'm going to say it anyway. But we did ask the World War Z dev to get an interview before the release and everything, and they straight up refused right away.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And Project Z, well, stay tuned.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna say. Yeah.
I mean, it's like with World War Z, yeah, they made a great game, but I'm getting Arc vibes, which that isn't good. And I think what Stadia is going to have to do is they're going to have to scour the production of these promising looking indie games like this. You know, maybe put a little bit of money to fund and tell them about the Stadia Pro initiative. And what you do is, like, this game looks dope. Like, I've talked to some of my console friends and they're like, oh yeah, this looks great. Like, when is this coming to Xbox? It ain't planned for it, bucko. So, if I'm Stadia, I'm dropping a little bit money in there. I'm doing a Grime or a Young Souls. We ain't gonna keep it exclusive forever, but we'll make it worth their while as an indie developer, and that shouldn't take a whole bunch for you to keep it on PC and Stadia for a while, and then that'll be our identity to where you don't have to deal with the shenanigans of some of the bigger developers because they clearly don't have much respect for the platform, at least at this juncture. So it's an exciting thing to see.
It's okay. Let the indie devs show more respect. And
exactly.
For the big publishers.
Exactly.
Like you said, speak with your wallet, dude.
Yep. Like, look at Wired P. They're bringing their whole catalog over of indie titles, and just a whole bunch more. It's like you have promising indie games. There was another indie game that I was looking at, and it kind of reminded me of Call of Duty. And it's coming straight to PC. I wanted to tweet something out about it, and I got sidetracked. But yeah, that's what Stadia should be doing. If you're getting such a hard time from these bigger publications, work with the ones that are willing to work with you. Like if Capcom is willing to put their all into it, if IOI Interactive is willing to do it, and others, and EA, and then of course Ubisoft, great.
Yeah,
you reciprocated back. But if everybody else is giving you a hard time, your identity until they start to respect you could be through these great looking indie titles. So. And
it's good to have a good relation with indie titles too, because you never know, right? Like, for example, the developers of Deliver Us the Moon, their ultimate goal is to become a AAA developers. So having like these ties with these developers, like maybe eventually they'll be doing like a lot like bigger games, and they'll have a good relationship with Stadia. So even if they just record indie developers, like we might end up getting like an advantage in the future on this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. If the word grows, y'all, that indie development can really benefit from, like Jason Schreier made it sound like, oh, we should have a whole bunch of Animal Crossings on stage. No, but if you got games, he was talking this nonsensical crap.
If you say anything negative about Jason, it's an instant block.
I know, yeah, it is.
No, seriously, I've tested this. I created an account. A new account just to see, bro. Yeah. And I told him he whines too much and immediately blocked without a question.
Well done.
Yeah. You don't even have to add him now. You don't even have to add him. Like he scours YouTube for people that say, like he asks his name and he scours YouTube to see if people are saying negative things about him. That's how sad it's gotten.
Jesus.
Yeah, he's got issues.
Yeah.
I got blocked by a few people, and I'm like the nicest person ever.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't get it.
Some people.
I don't get it.
Some people are just that sensitive. It is ridiculous.
Jason takes sensitivity to an entire different level.
Yeah.
Like seriously, if you say anything bad about this dude at all, period.
Yeah.
You're getting blocked like within like 10 seconds.
Jason, I like your black rim glasses better than the brown ones. I mean, it still looks okay blocked. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's ridiculous.
Now we're all getting blocked because we talked about it.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh,
Here,
well, he got
can
me a
block
long
me.
time ago.
I'll just make another account just to say, "Hey, Jason, you're bad." And like, it's just, it's messed up, dude. Because I used to respect him as a writer, and it's like it's all gone to his head.
Yeah.
And now I just don't care for him.
Yeah, he ever since he sat down with Yang Ye, because what it was is that he was respected so much for his journalism. Then people started coming at him for his views on crunch, which I respected. I respected his views on crunch because as someone who I programmed, but I didn't program for games, but I programmed, did little programs for my company. I get what he was talking about. Like crunch when you're programming is like very detrimental to the brain. People don't understand that. So I respected his views, even though I didn't, agree with him on a lot of stuff. But like you said, I also respected his journalism. Yeah, it's gone to his head ever since that. And then he sat down with Yang Ye and they had a little back and forth. It's gone to his head and he's just unreasonable. You know what I mean? So, yeah, somebody says Deep Silver in the chat. They think that's it. I don't know, man. Like, Deep Silver is kind of big. They're about as big as Saber Interactive. Like,
yeah, Deep Silver's a pretty large.
Yeah.
What do they do? Deep Silver?
What did Deep Silver do?
They do the Saints Row series.
Yeah, Saints Row. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Metro.
They're mainly Saints Row. They did Saints Row. They did Chorus, because Deep Silver has a few of the smaller studios under their brand as well.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Definitely a AAA developer, if you ask me.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, we're playing. Of course, we're playing some Projekt Z on the screen right now. I mean, the game, again, as an indie game, looks fantastic. Looks very promising. I'm happy to see a indie dev put in this much work. So I think we kind of like talked about this already. Let me see. On the heels of World War Z disappointment regarding crossplay, what do you want? What do we want Projekt Z's devs to know? I mean, what would you reinforce? I mean, I think we can be a little bit more confident with them because they're not going to walk around with their game like their ish doesn't stink. And we'll get to it when we do. But what would you like them to know, Ninja Guy X, in regards to their promise of crossplay?
If I'd have one tip, tell them like this is one thing.
Yep.
It would be the Stadia people likes transparency. So
yes,
as long as they're very open with us, like as long as they don't give up on us or anything, we'll be happy. So if you support crossplay, then we're all happy with that. If you have a hiccup, just give us a little tweet, just let us know, and then we'll forgive.
Yep.
But no, that's all they need to know. It has happened with other people like Outright Games, White Production. These are publishers, but they're so transparent with us, we like them so much because of that, right? So I think it's one thing that some of these indie devs should keep into consideration when it happens.
I love what Wired Productions did. Like, they didn't just say, "Oh, it's not coming. All right, we'll talk to you later." They wrote out a thoughtful response, caring to our situation, and it showed that they fully understand that there will be some disappointment and that they're not doing this just to do this, and they're working on something. That right there went a long way, and why you don't see people going ape nuts over. They want to play Deliver Us the Moon, but they're not going crazy over the post of what you see in World War Z.
Yeah, see, like they like we didn't get any strong feelings about it, like World War Z. It's an excellent example, and like they're both pretty recent too. So I love that example.
Wow. Amazing that you guys reached out to Saber Interactive and nope, don't like it.
John is the one who got the answer from them. I don't know exactly what they said, but they straight up refused.
I think that tells us a lot, people. That tells us a lot. We might have to ride their caboose. Again, I get it that you guys, if you can't beat them, join them. Hey, Stadia, do this thing. But no, let Saber Interactive know that you're not pleased and you want some more transparency. What I would do is say, look, here's an example of someone who couldn't provide us the game as they originally planned, and they showed us more care. All we want to know is about crossplay. You can't be a little bit more forthcoming about that. Shame on you, Saber, and show them Deliver Us the Moon's response. That's what I would do. That's what I would do. You know what I mean? Show them that we're not the redheaded stepchild. You don't just kick us to the side and into the garbage can with the old cabbage and tomatoes. You show a little bit of care and show us that if need be, you guys will give us an ETA of when to expect this. So.
Exactly, and shout out to KOKen, who the developers who actually did an interview with us.
Absolutely.
And they were so passionate. They were actually big fans of Stadia, which was even
that was
cooler.
Cool. That helps too. That helps too.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So, Pete, what do you think? What do you want the Projekt Z developers to know? Again, which they seem like they're not walking around with like their shit doesn't stink. Excuse my French. But they seem to have a better attitude about interacting with the community. What would you say to them about their crossplay promise or any promises that they make? And Pete's gone. Yeah, I
sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm here. Sorry.
I'm sorry.
I zoned out, but what did you say?
No, I said, what would you say, or what advice would you give the developers at Projekt Z about their cross-play promise in the wake of what we've seen with World War Z?
Oh, okay. So yeah, if y'all are watching, I would love to get you guys. I mean, if it's okay with MM and Ninja, the Panda, but if y'all are okay, I'd love to get them on the show and whatever they can share with us.
Yeah,
we can talk about.
Yep. That'd be dope.
But yeah, I really just be transparent. I guess if something comes up, I'm aware that sometimes things just come up and it happens. But if for whatever reason you're not going to have crossplay on launch or whatever, just make it clear that, hey, something's up. We're not going to have crossplay. Mm-hmm. And then let us know whether you intend to have it later or if it's not coming, period. Not be like World War Z and say, hey, it has crossplay, and then it releases, and then it doesn't have crossplay.
Yeah. Yep. And we haven't heard about them. We just don't know anything. Or did they reply to something? I can't remember.
They did send out a response. They said, "Oh, it's not here yet. All right, goodbye."
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So, yeah. Again, and I think what it is right now, and it's just the way that things are because of Stadia is not really a big platform yet, is that these bigger developers, if they're not going to show the commitment that we need them to show, unless they're like a Capcom who got a significant sum of money or they got other deals working with Google, but if it's just a one-off relationship and they're not getting a ton of money, then, you can pretty much expect the worst in some cases, I think Stadia is just going to have to get into a realm of we are going to work with promising indie titles. We're going to rly on them, and it doesn't all have to be, puzzle popper looking games. They can be some gritty looking games like we're seeing with Projekt Z. And then just, carve out a little bit of funding or whatever for EA, Ubisoft, and maybe one or two other games a year from the AAA world until things start to turn around. You know what I mean? So, because the community deserves better than that. They definitely. I mean, they wouldn't. World War Z would never. They would never do something like this. Like if they ran into a hiccup with crossplay, they would be fully transparent on PlayStation and Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, All
And it
right.
probably wouldn't happen, right? They'd be too scared.
Yeah,
to...
exactly. Yeah, number one, it wouldn't even happen. It wouldn't even happen.
They think we don't pay attention.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Is what it is. And it's like we come from the same platforms that the same main, I guess, whatever you want to call it, same main platforms. So it's not like we're just people who like haven't touched anything else and only play Stadia. Like we're very attentive and
Yep.
we do watch.
I don't. Yeah, it's a difficult situation that Stadia's in. It's just that I think that hey, look, they got people there that do earn a lot of money. They can figure these things out. I think the path forward is becoming more and more transparent. You know what I'm saying? Somebody should be scout. Like it's cool that we're doing it. It's cool that we're doing it. It's great, but literally, someone should be scouring the internet for promising looking indie games, reaching out to people. Hey, I'm with Google and, this, that, and have you ever considered the Stadia Makers program? I mean, I'm not guaranteeing right now that your game will be accepted, but if you want to throw a pitch or give us an excerpt, I'm just letting you know, reach out through Stadia Makers and we can make it happen, possibly. I think Stadia is going to have to be a little bit more proactive on that because the AAA people, some of them, not all of them, AAA people are not being that cooperative. All right. Well, with that said, here we're going to do a couple things. First and foremost, I don't want to hold anybody because we're a little bit over. And first and foremost, the third topic, which was going to be the Q1 productivity, we're not going to be able to get into. And also, let's just nix the whole after show thing for this week because we got off to a late start and it kind of threw everything off. So Daryl Smock and I will talk about that tomorrow, and I deeply apologize for that, guys. It's all my fault. Blame it on World War Z. We're talking all this smack on Saber Interactive, and here they're the reason their game is the reason. Exactly. You know what I mean? So with that said, let's close out. Let's go to the panel. Let's start with you, Ninja Guy X. Ninja Guy X, where can the good people find you at, my good friend?
Sure. So you can find me on YouTube at Ninja Guy Space X. And what I'm going to do next week is just post some Stadia Shorts video, which is a series of all the games that are releasing on Stadia in order of release. So have a look at that. That's what I'll be working on. You can follow me on Ninja Guy X on Twitter, and this is where I post just interesting Stadia stuff that I find. I just retweet or whenever I find something, or I always give credit to whoever find the news, or if it's me, I just post it. And other than that, that's about it. I hang out on most Stadia Discord if you want to have a nice conversation. I'm always around.
Cool. All right, next up is Peter Cottontail. Pete, where can the good people find you at?
You guys already know you can find me mainly at Twitter at foremost_GG. You can always find me here every Sunday doing the StadiaDosage podcast, and that is pretty much where to find me. I made a new Twitch because I've had this computer for like 2 years and didn't realize I could just stream from my GPU. Yeah.
Nice.
Cool. Awesome stuff. All right, you guys know me. You can find me here. Talking smack. You can find me here tomorrow with Daryl Smock Jr. We're going to talk a little bit more about Black Myth. I know he's excited about what he found, so he has a lot to say about that. We're also going to talk Q1 productivity, our thoughts about that, and something that I couldn't get through on Sound Off this week. We still got some bonehead reporters out there. A lot of the stupid stuff people were saying kind of died down for the moment, but we still got some bonehead reporting when it comes to Stadia and cloud gaming. One particular set of rhetoric really disappointed me because of who it came from. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow for our members, and everybody else will see it public Saturday. But if you want to be there for the discussion live and be part of the discussion while Smock and I do it, at noon tomorrow, Eastern time. Become a member before that show goes live. All right. So with that said, that's it from us this week. You can catch us on audio, I guess Saturday, where we'll make our edits and all the other fun stuff. But until next time, have a wonderful, wonderful gaming day. Peace.